2025 AFCON in Morocco is now in the rearview mirror, and the continent is facing east for the next edition. In Nairobi, the capital of one of the three co-hosts, Kenya, a new sporting landmark has taken shape and is nearing its completion. The Talanta Sports City Stadium is set to take center stage at AFCON 2027, a historic edition that will see for the first time ever 3 nations jointly host Africa's biggest football event. The sparkling new 60,000-seater facility, soon to be renamed the Raila Odinga International Stadium, is being built by the China Road and Bridge Corporation in partnership with the government of Kenya.
Totally, it needs 3 years exclusive the design period, but we spend 2 years. That is because we take many strategies. For example, we separate 4 areas called A, B, C, D. Zone A, Zone B, Zone C, and Zone D. Different area, we put the laborers work together. And also, we have a very professional and lawyer team, and KDF team, and also Sports Kenya team. They have a site engineer here to make sure the quality can be controlled all the time.
The external scaffolding has now been removed, and Kenyans have been awestruck by its beauty. It boasts of an ultra-modern design, highlighted by a computerized hydraulic tension cable lifting roof, an engineering marvel found in only 4 stadiums worldwide. Once complete, Kenya will become the 5th country in the world to possess this rare innovation, underscoring its growing ambitions on the international sporting stage. Speaking to CGTN, retired Kenya football captain and most capped player Musa Otieno believes the Chinese-built facility places the East African nation firmly on the continental sporting map.
The Cup of Nations is in our nation, and I think this is like our African World Cup. And we are Kenya, I think we are going to be ready, and in a sense that the players who are going to play, they're going to play behind, or in front of their friends, their families. We have got that opportunity of playing the big tournament in Africa.
Designed as a football-only venue, the Talanta features no running track, bringing fans closer to the action.
It is a model football pitch where we don't have any athletics field around. The fans are closer to you. They have said, I wish I was there, but it is not our generation, we fought for it. To the players, it is an opportunity. It is a big stage, just for whoever is going to get that opportunity to go and enjoy.
The stadium will also feature a high-performance hybrid pitch, combining natural Bermuda grass with synthetic fiber, designed to deliver superior durability and playing quality. As Kenya prepares to co-host the Africa Cup of Nations in 2027, Talanta Stadium not only stands as a sign of the country's readiness to host the tournament, but also hopes to become a new symbol of Kenyan football, uniting fans and inspiring the next generation of footballers. Mohamed Abubakar for CGTN, Nairobi, Kenya.
All right, still with me here in studio is our reporter Sadiq Shaban as we continue the discussion on the aftermath of the 2025 AFCON, as we also look ahead to the next tournament in East Africa. Sadiq, as we've seen from that report there from Mohammed, just how important will the Talanta, now renamed Raila Odinga Talanta Sports City Stadium to East Africa, staging a tournament that will hopefully meet the standards that you saw in Morocco?
By the way, the Talanta Stadium, Raila Odinga Stadium, really resembles the Prince Moulay Stadium in Abdallah. And I was there a couple of weeks ago, and the ambience is really going to be like that, what we saw in Morocco. And just picking on lessons, as you said, going to 2027, Morocco will host a number of build-up events going to 2030, as we've been discussing. They will host the Women Africa Cup of Nations. They will host the Under-17 Women's World Cup, started last year all the way through to 2029. They're going to host the FIFA Arab Cup and the Club World Cup. Now, East Africa will also need a lot of build-up events and to ready these facilities. It's not just a facility, it's not just a stadium. We've seen from Morocco and the delegations from Pamoja, the East African countries that were there, they learned about hospitality, they learned about crowd control, and so many. So there'll be a lot of lessons, and we hope that going forward, CAF will give Kenya, Uganda, and Tanzania a number of events, either the Under-17, either the Under-20 Africa Cup of Nations, in future. Perhaps so that this stadium, other than just hosting 2027 Africa Cup of Nations, there is the legacy project, beyond 2027. But for just a year, we need to get the stadium ready. We need to get all our officials ready. The training has to happen. And this is where CAF will play a very important role in seconding some of the key technical officials to Kenya, Uganda, and Tanzania.
Right, and still touching on that, with just about a year to go, maybe what are some of the key lessons that these three nations in East Africa can learn from Morocco in terms of being ready to host such a big event?
Kenya seemed to have taken a very big step towards meeting a very critical part of organization, and that is waiving the visa requirements for all the visitors coming into the country. We expect to see similar move by Tanzania and Uganda. In other words, the East African countries have to work on their customs laws to make it sure that it's easier for fans to travel from Kenya, Uganda, and Tanzania. Everyone is welcome in Kenya, but it's not really been defined so much at this point in terms of Uganda and Tanzania. Number two, the stadium has to be ready. CAF said the inspectors will be here. The first round is expected within the next couple of months, so we expect that the discussion about who will host the opening ceremony and the closing ceremony, particularly, and Kenya seemed to have put itself really on a very vantage position. So Kenya, Uganda, and Tanzania will have to get the accommodation, they will have to get logistics, but the key thing that came out during the final was the issue of crowd control, that Kenya, Uganda, and Tanzania must work on that. But to be honest, they may not get to the level where Morocco really had, but I'm sure they'll make up for it through a lot of other things that are very peculiar to this region.
Right, and we're almost out of time here. Very briefly, before we let you go, Sadiq, in your honest assessment, having seen what you saw in Morocco, do you think that East Africa will be ready to host the 2027 AFCON? Absolutely.
I have no doubt in my mind that the East Africa countries are ready. We've seen the stadium in Uganda, we've seen Tanzania. The African Nation Championship in 2025 gave us a window into that kind of readiness. So just a few areas to tie around, and I'm sure the East African communities will be ready. And we cannot wait for the first match. In fact, people are saying, when will CAF announce the next host after the 2027 Africa Cup of Nations? These three countries will certainly be ready.